Praise be Jesus Christ, now and forever. We began the journey of Lent on Ash Wednesday, being reminded by St. Paul in his second letter to the Corinthians that we are all ambassadors for Christ. This is because in Christ we are a new creation, and our ministry is the proclamation of the reconciliation brought to the world by Christ. Therefore, as ambassadors, we represent him, we serve him, we are in the most profound way his voice in the world, just as an ambassador does not represent their own personal views or prejudices, but speak for their country. As we know, Lent is leading us via the path of prayer and penance to the celebration of the centre of our faith at Easter, and the truly profound moment when we reaffirm our baptismal promises. That moment is, as it were, the representation or the representation of our ambassadorial credentials. We are who we say we are, or who we're trying to be, Christ's representatives on earth. So that Ash Wednesday reminder is a great blessing, a true reminder and a true recollection of our dignity as disciples, encouraging the washing off via penance of all that's tarnished that image. Following that important reminder, St. Paul gives us our thought as we end the second week of Lent. St. Paul writes, "Working together with him, then, we entreat you not to accept the grace of God in vain. For he says, at the acceptable time I have listened to you, and helped you on the day of salvation. Behold, now is the acceptable time. Behold, now is the day of salvation." As his ambassadors, we work with him, but as St. Paul emphasizes, we've been given an extraordinary gift, that gift of grace, never to be taken for granted. It is that regular and necessary reminder, I think, again, for the place of thanksgiving in our lives and in our prayers. What an honor to be named the ambassador of a country, the public face of our nation, wherever we're assigned. What an infinitesimally greater honor to be an ambassador of the King of Kings, to represent him before all men. Do not receive this grace in vain. Part of our penance, our Lenten examination of conscience, is to see how well we've represented our King, and how grateful we are and have been for this honor. Paul also reminds us, as he so often does, of what might be called the importance of now, the moment. We're very adept at putting things off. There's always time, we say, for that confession, for that necessary change. Behold, now is the time. I remember many years ago I used to see a man going regularly into the church to pray, but I never saw him at Mass. One day I was in the church when he came in. I gently asked why we didn't see him on Sundays. He responded that he'd come back one day. I encouraged him not to leave it for too long. I'm glad to say he returned. Seize the day, be thankful, and represent your King. Brethren, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil, like a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour.